Hey, you ever gotten your ass kicked before? You're good at video games? Well, Solomon's Key will make all that shit fucking mute. Solomon's Key is one of the hardest games I've ever played. Now, a lot of people say this is harder than Battletoads. I personally disagree there. But from a puzzle perspective, this game is omega intense, and from a reflex perspective, is like you have to be on point later on. So basically, your little guy, now I forgot his damn name, Dana or something like that. He can make blocks with a 1, and he can delete blocks with a 1, and he can jump. And so you can make a block and then jump on it, and then make another block and jump on that. So you can make your own staircases. The enemies, you know, they're walking, and if you could put a block there, they'll walk on that block, and then you disappear that block, and then they'll fall down and die. That's basically most of what the mechanics are as far as what it is. The enemies can shoot at your block, but you can put a block up as a shield, and they'll destroy it. And so that's most of what your interactions are. And using just this, they have created just a puzzle freaking damn level assortment of nightmares that you can not even format, just can't even comprehend how ridiculous this shit. Whoever made these levels is some kind of damn evil asshole genius. That's the only way I can decide. And now there'll be multiple ways of making your blocks and you know, killing enemies with the blocks to do a level. And just take it right there here. And you need to get that key that's in the middle and get to that door. And so you're surrounded by baddies, so you can do shit like that to make the baddies kind of disappear and go in their own freaking spots. You can use those blocks to change how the enemies move around. There is an amazing amount of enemies and shit on the screen, and so for some reason the Nintendo never blows up. I guess because it stays pretty simple in the graphics. But you have to sit there and slowly learn these patterns, because these little fuzzballs or the freaking guys who chase you and stuff, they can be just a nightmare. Once they're on you, they don't get off of you, and so you have to be very smart in how you do things. And it's one of those things that until you've done that level freaking 20 times and you've actually found out how to do it, and then on top of that optimize it, you're just going to get your butt annihilated. And there are 50, I believe it's 50 on the dot levels. Tons of secrets. There's like a super duper secret ending route where it requires you to find the hidden goodie. I think it's on like on every several levels or something like that. Tons of goodies you gotta just hit random shit up there in the air, and you can come back and get power-ups. You have a little fireball you can shoot to try to get you out of trouble. I believe if you die, you lose them all. It's one of those things that it's rare enough that you're not going to use that unless there's like a particular enemy that you're like, man, this guy really needs to be fireballed in the face. And as you play this over and over again, as you listen to that crazy soundtrack that never changes, it just kind of absorbs in your brain, man. And this is an absolute classic. And I want to say it's one of those like games that, you know, kind of they're old. It's very on the early of the Famicom side. I don't know how it came out on Famicom. The game is impeccable, and there isn't anything like it. And so when you're looking for new things and interesting things to play, this would be something I would recommend to people who's played a shit ton of a lot of other NES games, and they're like, hey man, you want to play some masochistic brutal shit? I got a game for you. But the puzzles are clever and they're amazing. And just doing this right here, this is really about making those enemies, you know, putting a little step ladder right underneath the enemies and letting them walk over it. I guess that's what I'm going to do right here. Yeah. And then that's actually how you get rid of them. I mean, but the first time I went through, I made this elaborate freaking like shield barrier to try to go up, to try to keep deflections from both sides. That's something you can do, but the smartest thing might not be the most obvious thing, especially the way this game controls. Now, they made another game called Fire and Ice that came out super late in the NES, or at least over here, super late. I only played a little bit of that. It does not seem to be as good. And I know that it costs $75 billion to actually have the card of that. Do I recommend Solomon's Key? I can only recommend this to somebody who's really got their wits and their brains about them. If you just want to play some Super Mario Brothers and turn off your brain, this is not for you. This will brutally kill you, and you won't even know what the fuck you're doing. But if you like playing little puzzle games, this is it. The problem with this is that you might like to play little puzzle games, but you not be good enough to handle the freaking reflexes and shit of the later levels. There's a code in, like a continue code, but it'll at the last like 10 levels, I believe the code doesn't work, and They're rough. They are some of the roughest shit you're going to see on the NES, and they're like fucking near frame perfect timing to do some of this stuff, to move between monsters or whatever it is. But we did beat it. A very good game. I just can't sit there and recommend this to many people. I don't know who this would be for, but easy to pause. Brian loves that damn soundtrack. It gets stuck in your brain, and it ain't gonna go away. It's just how it is. And then Big Kitty liked the very unique puzzle mechanics. Very unique. I've never seen this in another game. Maybe there's a series. I mean, I guess Bomberman Jack would have been like the before this or after this. I've never actually played Bomberman Jack. But a very interesting niche Nintendo game to try out.